There we are. And we are live. Hello and welcome to Developer Insights. I'm David.
And I'm Justin.
And together we are the leads on game development and design here at Codename.
Not only that, but we also founded Codename.
We're going to be your hosts for this episode and for every episode. I feel like I've said that a few times.
102 times. Because when we're not here, the show doesn't happen.
Still holding up. Holy smokes, wall of text.
Yes, today is our 102nd episode.
Yep, 102.
You didn't write anything for the intro, did you?
Nope, I was too busy trying to finish my season daily quests.
Wait, daily quests? We took daily quests out of this season.
What? No, I know, but I like them so much I turned them back on for my account.
What? Why?
Well, without them, I wouldn't know what to do every day. How do you know what to do?
You could literally do any of the other quests.
Well, yeah, but I could do them anytime. These ones are daily.
Anyway,
What do you do?
we are here to answer development and design questions about Idle Champions.
But if you don't ask any questions, you may have to suffer through Justin, changing your name completely, through Justin's one-man reenactment of, what do we have here? Reacting to the Inside Out 2 trailer that released earlier today.
Yeah, no, it's true. If you don't want to hear any answers to questions about Idle Champions, we can pivot this show into a cheap kind of Justin Reacts stream. Though to be fair, I'm not super emotive, so it'll mostly just be me sitting there being like, oh, yeah, that was all right. I guess I could go see that.
That doesn't sound as interesting as us just asking or answering questions about Idle Champions.
Hey, I'm with you. I just want to provide alternatives if people get bored of that.
There might be like an opportunity for the apathy show, I think.
Oh, apparently the code on screen is spelled incorrectly.
What?
Yeah, it's Justin Arax. That's not correct. Quick, you fix that, and I'll read your part here.
Oh dear.
As always, we've pulled some questions from the previous show that we didn't get to, and we'll answer some of those while we're waiting for new questions to come in. But before we get to those, we have some updates on some items that we flagged to get looked at by the dev team. So without any further stalling for time, let's get started with those. There we go, the code is now correct.
Good. Got to get used to these two keyboards. I think I edited the script. Okay.
I said your part. Now you can give us the update on all those new features that have been implemented into the game. I can't wait.
The list
This is really...
There's nothing in the list here, Justin. Did you not fill that in either?
It's not my list to fill in, dude.
It's true. All right, we don't have any thing off of the Dev Insights list in the Fixes or New Features list this week, but we do have the in-progress list, and we've got a few items there that are new from stuff that I pulled in from the script from last week. Questions that were asked last week. Never mind.
Oh my God, the whole show is scripted.
We're off to a good start.
It's not real people asking questions. They're all plants.
Plants can't ask questions, Justin.
We need to put them out in the sun so they can photosynthesize.
Okay. The in-progress item list is making it so that season champions do not appear in the free time gate choices. Apparently that was done and then undone because of an issue with it. So by default it would appear up that. I'm going to order the favor display not to be just ID order. In fact, sort of the design on that is to redo that entire display. We're going to place the current day on the season dialog, adding a tooltip for potions so that you can see what is active without clicking into the potion manager. We're going to add a recall for missed familiars, or recall rather misses familiars on potions. So we're going to fix that. We're going to add a timer to the current run so you can see how long it has currently taken. A larger click region, especially for mobile on full screen dialogue such as Trials and Modron. Apparently those have got, a lot of those new ones have curved corners and you can't click the curved corner portion. Hardly seems fair. And increasing the bounty contract limit use. I want to increase that so that it matches some of the other numbers, and it is a very highly requested item. Cool, that is our in-progress list. So I think from that, we've got no announcements. We're going to move into the leftover questions from last week's show.
Excellent. Let us get to those. We only have one leftover question from last week's show. It was from Meow Arf Moo, and they asked, I know the potion bottles are positioned differently, but can we get the colors changed to use more of a variation?
That's an interesting question. I know this has come up before in so much that was it that they were just hard to read? Because I know the colors came from like the handbook in terms of
initially, yeah, the colors and kind of the looks of them. I know like the giant Bane one has like some eyeballs or toenails or something in there that was described in the player's handbook. Yeah.
Yeah, so on that note, I think we're probably not going to make changes to the colors on those. I do think that whole dialogue, whoever does need some kind of, it's been on the list for a long time to do some improvements to that, sort of sorting and filtering in the inventory dialogue. So I think if we actually get to doing that, that would improve being able to determine which ones are which.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that might be the thing to do on that front. All right. That is it. That's the only question.
That was it.
Why is there only one?
Yeah. There weren't as many questions last show. I guess people are getting bored of us. So
maybe 102. That's the
102 episodes is the number of episodes that people can take before they really want to see a one-man show.
Yep. Okay.
Except for the fact that we've got 30-something questions.
So they saved them
already.
from last week for this week.
Apparently, yeah. There was they were taking a deep breath.
We're waiting for the season to start before they ask the questions.
The first question from this week comes from Rough Rider 1995, who asks, can the familiar background indicators show what position they are in the hover over tooltip, leveling on the field, in the potion manager, etc.?
The familiar background indicator, I guess it could. Is this... I mean, this is on the familiar display when you're going to drag out your familiars. You can recall. Is it? I just trying to think for a second. Is what's kind of the animus behind that? Why would you want to have the indication? I guess that when you pull, if you're pulling someone or pulling a familiar over, are you worried about what that familiar was on? Is that the reason that they would want to see that?
Possibly.
I mean, it's.
I think they want to see if they pull it over, are they going to be,
not leveling someone up anymore, not doing damage in the formation, not working on an alt. I mean, it's an interesting thought. I'm just not 100% sure sort of what benefit we're getting for, I guess the chat Rough Rider's saying, not sure where you're pulling it from. So I guess the question is sort of how much damage are you doing to that formation by pulling it out?
Yeah.
No, it's a thought. I'm going to tag it, and we can discuss if that makes sense.
Yep.
Next question. This one is from Gary ____. The question is, Jang Sao has an ability that relies on pigments used in your formation, and she even has a feat that buffs based on the amount of pigments she's equipped. Is there any chance that pigments, at some point in the near future, would be dismantleable with something other than a full dismantle?
Yeah, I think it's something that we can reconsider. I know Emote asked a very similar question right after this one, so it's definitely something that I can see is at the top of people's minds, and is something that we can maybe think about for the future.
Okay. Next question. This one is from Emote. With 2 weeks left to go until the Season 3 exclusivity period ends, expected 24th of November, have you decided what's going to happen to the unaffiliated core yet?
Yes, we have. Yes, Dupuis, he hunted me down. He cornered me in a hallway and was like, you need to figure out how many gems it's going to be for. So we have figured it out, and the answer to this question is yes, we have decided what's going to happen with the unaffiliated core.
Are we telling
we now
him?
know that that's not what he asked. He asked if we have decided. So yes, we have. I try not to answer more than people ask because I don't want to, get into the weeds of things. So yeah.
Wait, what? You love getting into the weeds of things.
We'll see if question 39 is, and what will that amount be?
All right.
Next question is from Library of Akasha, who asks, times 1000 upgrade option when? I'd like to be able to upgrade even faster, please.
Times 1,000. I mean,
Mars made a comment here, or even a use all my gold on this champion option. So like
just
max,
do a full dump everything in. No, were we holding out on that for some reason? Because I know in Crusaders,
Yeah,
we
there was
left
an
that
option.
as like you had to buy that ability later on as like
you unlocked. I think you unlocked it like after 1 or 2 runs. Like it wasn't a lot.
Well,
but it
yeah,
was
and by
locked
buy I
behind.
mean it was part of like the
It's part of the
prestige.
progression.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it can be a blessing at some point on the Turn of Fortune's Wheel campaign. Unlock max button.
No, it's a good question.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why we didn't. So like I said early on, it didn't make so much sense, and now it's just.
Yeah, early on, it didn't really matter because it only took a couple of clicks to get up to max level. But now that the max levels are can be in the thousands, I could see it being something we could look at.
Okay, tag it.
Tagged.
Next question. This is from Hopix, 1837. Hopix is quite old, apparently. I did not complete the season quest, even though I unlocked new champions. But I have all the champions, so I have no more champions to unlock. Can I submit a ticket? Wait. I'm not quite sure I followed the question. I did not complete the season quest, even though I had unlocked new champions. This is one of the season quests
This is
to
the
unlock
seasonal
new
quest
champions.
to unlock a new champion that
Okay.
that we know has issues sometimes at random, but we're not sure why.
But I have all of the champions, so no more champions to unlock. I see. So they did unlock a champion. They didn't get credit for it. Now they have all the champions.
Yes.
Can I also submit a ticket? I can also submit a ticket, but can't you make a radical fix, like automatically unlocking the quest to get a new champion when a player has all of the champions to avoid this situation?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things going on here with this one. One is that we only ever put this quest in when there's an event coming out. So in theory, it shouldn't be an issue. It should come out at the same time an event comes out, and then you should be able to complete it by recruiting the new event champion. There's a couple of issues with that. One is, at least yesterday, the seasonal quest didn't get turned on until 3 or 4 minutes after the hour. So,
So someone got it in 3 or 4 minutes.
In theory, you could have rushed through unlocking Jiang Sao, or unlocked them, I guess, in the store. Right now, they don't show up in the store. You would have had to have rushed through the unlock adventure to get him, and then I guess you could have potentially got it before the seasonal quest showed up. The other issue is I know that unlock a new champion quest sometimes doesn't credit properly, and we're looking into why that is. Automatically completing the quest to get a new champion when you have all the champions is something that I guess we could do, but I don't know if it would be the best solution aside from just trying to make sure these things are lined up and making sure that quest credits in all situations.
Yeah, definitely. If there's an issue with the credit, then that's.
Yeah. For now, please do open a ticket. I know there weren't too many people affected by the timing one on that, but the more tickets we get about it not functioning, I think the more leverage the community support team has to go and bend Dev's arm to try and get it fixed so that it doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, additionally, the more support tickets we have on that, the more play histories we can reference and see sort of when and why it happened, which I think might be sort of more helpful.
Yeah.
In tracking that down. Okay, next question. This one is from Library of Akasha, asking, why does it feel like the order of champions randomly shifts when you swap them? Could you change it so that when you click the swap champion button, the champions you are currently using will still appear in the swap options, but say in use or something? So the placement of champions in swap will never change.
Yeah, it's an interesting kind of question about that and how much noise we want to have there. I mean, I can see the argument for wanting to have all of them there so that there's a consistency and you can kind of get that muscle memory of like swapping from champion X to champion Y. On the other hand, if you're in an adventure where there's a lot of champions that are like restricted and not allowed, it's kind of nice to only show the ones that are allowed and not have to kind of look over all of them to find the ones that don't have the "you're not allowed in this adventure" overlay and click those. So I guess I could see it both ways. I could see adding that maybe as an option that people can toggle on.
Always show all champions.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I assume they don't actually, the order doesn't actually change. It just, something gets pulled out.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
if there's stuff that's not there, then
Right.
yeah, it could. Yeah. Yeah. So I could see doing that as an option.
Right. And I see there was a follow-up question asking from the same person, asking about there was a sort of a simplified version of that dialogue as another option.
Yeah, it's definitely getting to be there. There are a lot of champions in the game. I don't know if people have noticed, but that's definitely something that we are trying to think about how we will address in the future, and how to address the fact that we're starting to get into the well into the double digits per seat in terms of the number of champions that are available.
Yeah, I mean, we could definitely see that dialogue being reduced to a portrait and a name that's more of like a single line entry rather than the larger one, which could work a little better. But certainly there are options for that going forward as you get more champions in each seat.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. This is from SailNet, asking, it was mentioned that moving seasons back to back was done due to daily engagement drop off between seasons. How does that fit with removing of daily quests?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. So I think the removing daily quests we're trying a couple of different things with it. One of our theories with daily quests is that they were causing some player behavior we weren't exactly fans of, which was players would log on, do their daily quests, and then go, well, I've done my daily quests, that's all I need to do today, and then they would log off. And the game has a lot of content on it, and that's not necessarily kind of the behavior that we want to encourage. So one of the things we're trying is, making it so you can't, or you don't necessarily log in, do one thing, and then think maybe you've done everything you need to do for that day. The other thing we were kind of looking at with daily quests is that there's a certain amount of FOMO that they cause within the season, especially as we get later into the season, where players might think, well, I've missed 3 or 4 weeks worth of daily quests, like there's no way I'm going to finish this season, and then just not even try, also resulting in people logging out prematurely. And so we are trying to kind of encourage people to play when they want and where they want a little bit more, and seeing how that affects sort of playtime throughout the season and engagement with the season and with the game in general as well. Is there anything else that you wanted to touch on the daily stuff?
No, I was just looking for the next question that made sense to answer.
Sure. Well, I think it's this next one right here.
Yeah, no, just reading ahead. The next question here is from Garwar, asking, why does Zorbu have 2 items buffing the same ability now? This is super weird.
Yes, so Zorbu has 2 items buffing the same ability because Zorbu is one of those super annoying to balance DPS support champions. And with equipment, especially on DPS support champions, we're always trying to make sure there's a good balance between DPS and support, so that you don't have wasted equipment pieces when you're in one role or the other. And our feeling is that Zorbu has a self-DPS item, and our feeling was we wanted to try and have 4 sort of support items in there as well. And the sort of the most obvious support item that we had was the one to buff Hunter's Pack. And so we decided to just try 2 of them and see how that goes. It's another little bit of an experiment there. We're always kind of trying different things to see how they affect things. I know that having 2 items on Zorbu that buff the same ability certainly does some interesting things to his scaling with item levels. So that's what we're trying there. It is a little bit odd. We haven't really done that before, so we definitely. I mean, to be fair, sometimes we have like 2 items that buff 2 different abilities that essentially both just do the same thing. So it's not weird from a balance mechanic, but it's something we haven't done specifically before.
Okay, next question. This is from Library of Akasha. Attribute feats. So Whittle, Melf, and Vi have access to Zariel. I mean, we do patron chores weekly, so if you could just make it easier, that would be great. I'm sensing a theme from Library of Akasha's questions today.
Yes, Library of Akasha would like to play the game as little as possible during the time that's available.
That's not
They want to
quite-
get through the stuff they want to do in a day and then move on to other stuff. That's
I was-
exactly why we got rid of daily quests.
thinking the theme was patrons, but
Oh, patrons, sure, yeah, that too. So, yeah, I mean, I think attribute feats is something we add from time to time. They usually pop up when we do some sort of rebalance with the champions. I'm surprised we didn't do one for Vi last season for Zariel. It seems like low-hanging fruit. We might have flagged that one as a to-do to attach to sort of DLC or something like that. So it's most likely, because we did Vi recently, most likely that one is flagged for a future release of some sort. Whittle and Melf will have to wait until they get their own rebalances at whatever point that happens.
Okay. Next question. This is from Emerald1219. Hey devs, was Narak's slot 4 item, Stunning Strike, supposed to apply pre-stack? This is an extraordinarily strong ability that I'd like to make sure is not nerfed before investing.
Yeah, so I saw this question and I've pulled up the design doc for it here.
That you have.
And buffs are for that ability are supposed to apply to the post-stack value. So if that is applying to pre-stack, that does seem like something that's not supposed to be happening. So I am going to flag that one, and we'll get Dev to look at that ASAP.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, okay. I've stopped highlighting questions at this point, so I'll go forward and find one that Dave highlighted. This one's from Library of Akasha, and they say, they're asking, these are all requests, it seems like. A request for a single-click button which throws the 3 champions or the 1 bud-setting champion required for the patron challenge into the formation. I don't want to go swap champions searching. Trying to remember which champion is from which seat is no fun. And we do this weekly, so streamline.
Yeah, I mean that's a kind of a curious request. I do think that is like that doesn't sound like something would be out of the question in terms of having, you know, some kind of an option on the patron of like swap in relevant champions. I mean, it's definitely an optimization here that is sort of going a little bit above and beyond.
Yeah,
but
I'm just not sure where we would put it because it's not something that
streamline.
I just don't know where we put it, because it's like, do we put it there every single time? It's like if you have the patron challenge active and not completed, that we just have it somewhere.
Yeah, it's a good question. Like I said, it doesn't sound out of the question, but it does sound very sort of,
Mustafa has a easier suggestion of putting the seat number on the champion in the challenge text, which would make things a little bit easier to find. You don't have to go searching through your seats, so that wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, certainly. That, and then I guess the question: put a button on the challenge itself. Sort of like show the relevant or swap in relevant champions.
Mm-hmm.
Is there ever a case where it wouldn't, or was it specifically for that challenge? That challenge is very specifically calling out those champions in those seats.
Yeah.
And so it would actually, so it would be possible if it were on the challenge itself.
Yeah, but it'd be yeah.
No, I mean, I understand it sort of seems like
It's a little bit awkward.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. You highlighted anything?
I have not highlighted. I'm reading.
You're behind
through.
on the questions.
Oh my gosh,
How
I'm
is this
so sorry.
happening?
Okay, I've just been answering the questions so much. Here's another one from Library of Akasha. You just went through and highlighted all of their questions. Who says, upon Modron reset, why isn't everything grabbed from the field as if the area has been cleared?
So I assume they're talking
Like the
about just
gold?
like gold and other pieces that are on there. And I guess that sort of raises the question, is that not picked up and counted as part of the reset at that point? I'm not actually 100% sure whether it would be or not.
I would be surprised if it wasn't, considering maybe I wouldn't. Feels like it should be.
Yeah, it should be.
It's not. I mean,
No,
to be
it's
fair,
fairly marginal in
yes,
the
it's
sense
not.
that
It's not likely to be something
it's going to really
impacts things too much.
That's probably why.
Yeah.
If it isn't counted, it's probably because it doesn't have any significant impact to the result. But okay, next question. This is from Zahid the Wolf. Is current season length the new norm, or is this shortened in between seasons?
So the season length of 8 weeks is something we're trying for this season, and I think we've got it locked in for next season just because of the amount of lead time we do for seasons. We've actually pretty much locked all of season 7 at this point, and I think we're doing a kickoff for season 8 like tomorrow or something. So yeah, the 8 weeks is what we're doing for season 6 and 7, and we'll kind of see how that plays out, and make any changes to future seasons based off of sort of player feedback, player sentiment, and the key performance indicators that we see.
Key performance indicators.
I don't want to use acronyms for people. The performance indicators we see for the game
that are key.
That are the key ones.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Not the non-important performance indicators, the NIPIs, but the key ones. Here's a question for you from Loopy79. Loopy79 really wants to know, why does Dave have 2 mice and keyboards?
Oh, no. Yeah, that's an easy one here, or a difficult one because I keep typing on the wrong keyboard. This is just our interim streaming setup for doing the in-person 2 people.
Interim?
Interim.
We're having some maintenance done on the 2-person overlay, and while we're having that done, we're here doing the stream in person together.
Nevertheless, it is running the streaming machine, and the monitor in the middle is on the other keyboard because we are not attempting to stream from these laptops, which are on Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So we felt like that was going to be a bad idea.
Yes.
So
we're streaming from that computer over there.
The one they can't see.
It's by it's over there.
Yeah.
It's by the staircase. Is that a staircase? Yeah, it's the staircase.
Okay. I'm going to back up a bit here because I see you have highlighted an earlier question.
I've done it.
This question is from Canelian, asking, can BBEG get a feat which allows him to buff champions with an intellect of 13 instead of 12? He can buff anyone in the Strad restrictions, which is annoying because he can't. Wow. He can't buff anyone in the Strad restrictions, which is annoying because of his availability there. Allowing him to affect champs with 13 or less int would at least give him some use.
Yeah, I believe this is a feat that we did design alongside BBEG with this in mind, but it hasn't yet made its way out into the real world yet. So we do have plans for that feat, but it's not out yet. I think we have one for each direction. One for like 11 or less with like a bigger buff, and one for 13 or less with a slightly less big buff.
There is a question, isn't it true Justin can't be trusted with the extra mouse and keyboard? Yeah.
It is true. I would just be browsing Reddit the whole stream.
Right. I can barely be trusted to use the right keyboard. Next question is from Loopy79.
Oh, the 11 or less one is already out. Okay, well, there we go. So we've done one of the 2.
Oh, dear. All right, the question that Loopy79 has is, Thalora's Rush ability, needing Thalora to get a killing blow before it's activated, is quite problematic, since at early levels, click damage routinely steals the vast majority of potential kills before any champion, much less a champion with such a slow attack speed, can get an attack. It ends up being invalidating a fair bit of Thalora's usefulness. Can this be changed, please, so that it will be guaranteed to activate immediately on level 1 rather than having to wait for her eventually scoring a killing blow?
Yes. I'm actually a little bit surprised that this is still an issue because we've talked about this internally and it was supposed to be changed to, I know I'm throwing someone under the bus here, some unnamed person. It was supposed to be changed so that if they started to attack, if they would have killed something, that it triggered. So if they start their attack, and even if click damage kills, or another champion kills, or an ultimate kills, or anything kills, as long as they start to attack, it is supposed to trigger as long as you have stacks and are going to do a skip.
Okay.
It looks like some people in chat are saying it does work that way already, and perhaps okay. Well, it might not work that way already. I don't know. Maybe it's
It was supposed to work that way. It was supposed to be fixed.
maybe it's been fixed.
Check the changelog.
Well, yeah. Okay.
I mean you, not them.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think we are ready to run a giveaway. So the way this works, if you haven't been in chat before, and I'm looking for you first-time chatters in the chat, the way this works is you can type in a keyword that will soon appear on the screen. Or it doesn't appear on the screen, actually. It appears in chat.
It'll appear on their screen.
It'll appear on your screen if you have chat popped out.
Yeah.
There we go. So that keyword will appear, and all you have to do is copy and paste that keyword back into chat and send that as a message. I don't know. I'm getting up. Anyway, and then you get entered into a draw to win 42 chests. 42 chests of your choice. It can be any type of chest in the game, as long as it exists in the game and is not a Glory of Bahamut chest, or transparent aluminum chests.
Transparent aluminum chests.
Transparent aluminum chests, they're just no fun because you can see what's in there before you get them, and that's not fun.
But I like the clairvoyant admin chests.
No, that's not fun either. It's no fun if the chest just has exactly what you want in it. It has to be that chance of having exactly what you want in it, or else, I mean, where's the fun?
Maybe we could have various versions of the thing you want, so like a crummy version and a really great version, and then you open it and you find out then which version you get.
That's how our chests work already. That's
of the thing that you're thinking of that you want.
Uncommon, rare, and epic gear. You always want the epic gear.
So it'll show what it is, but not the rarity. Yeah. So through the transparent aluminum is just not transparent enough that you can see the quality of the item.
Okay.
Just what it might be, what slot it's in. No? Okay.
Okay. Anyway, good luck to everyone on that giveaway. And welcome to our first-time chatters who I see in chat there.
Dev 102? Is this some sort of a class?
Welcome to Dev 102. This is the remedial dev class for people who aren't getting a dev degree.
That's right. And if you are not in Dev 102, then you are in the wrong place. You're in the wrong room. Yeah.
Anywho, okay, we've already answered why Dave has 2 mice and keyboard.
Because he had to go to remedial dev.
Yes.
Okay. Next question is from Canelian. Narax, we're going to be able to say that. Gizraeli.
No.
Gizraeli.
Gith.
Zerai. I've never pronounced that out loud before. Focus is now only affecting positional and is capped. Do you think you might have swung too far in the opposite direction in regards to that ability? 501 eye levels to give it almost half the buff that it had previously without any item support feels weird. I would almost have rather the item be used for something else in that case.
I'm a little bit confused by this because there was no item support for it before. It didn't have an item that buffed it. It had a couple of feats, but no item.
I mean, maybe they're saying that to have it give half and then also not include item support. That might be the way it's...
No, it started out at 50%. Oh, now it doesn't get any upgrades. Yes, that is true, actually. There were ability upgrades for it, and I did not add those back in. Yeah, so I guess the answer to this question is the item currently is capped. And we wanted to be a little bit careful with that because we were opening up Githzerai Focus and Githzerai Agility to more champions. In fact, you can actually put it on any champion if you use him in conjunction with Korth to grant enough dexterity for that to happen. So we did want to be a little bit careful with that. I think what is likely is that in the future, oh my god, there's a hype train incoming. Choo-choo. In the future, we will likely increase that item level cap. because we had that in there just to be a little bit careful and make sure that we didn't throw anything completely out of whack with him. Sorry, I'm just watching chat here. Yes, so I think there's room for us to buff up that ability and increase the cap on the equipment item, and that's kind of what we were leaving ourselves room to do. Not having the upgrades on there, that is something that I may not have accounted for in my balancing. So that's something else that maybe we can look at for just increasing the base value of that as well. I think there's some room for improvement there. Our intent with, I guess, the next question here is about our intent for Narak. So I guess you can ask that, and then I can try and answer.
All right.
That.
I'm just busy highlighting every question here because we're okay. Next question. This is from De Black Sea. What was the aim behind Narak changes this season?
Yeah, so Narak had some interesting interactions, let's say. He was...
Let's say.
Yeah, let's say he did, because he did. He had some very weird interactions with what he buffed and how much he buffed them, to the point at which the kind of intent with Narak this season was kind of to make him a little bit easier to deal with. From our side as well from your side, by just making it a little bit more clear exactly what he buffs and how much he buffs it. And that's why we added the positional requirement to his buffs, because there were a lot of abilities he was buffing that when design was putting them together were like, of course this won't be buffable, but then Narak could buff it, which caused all sorts of unexpected and in many cases bad behavior. So we were trying to kind of calm down Narak so that he was a little bit less unpredictable, so that we could sort of properly balance his stuff against the sort of current meta. And that is what we will continue to do. I think there's definitely room for the Githzerai focus and agility to be buffed. And we will take those actions sort of throughout the next little while to try and get him to a place where he feels good. I think his sort of base kit is in a good place, but I think Githzerai focus and Githzerai agility have some room for improvement there, and so we will attempt to improve them. Thank you to everyone who has been gifting and buying subs for this hype train. Apparently, we now have a level 4 hype train.
Is that a high level?
I don't know. I don't know what a hype train is, but we're having it, and I'm hyped.
It sounds positive.
This is Justin reacting to hype trains. Wow, a hype train. What's a hype train?
I don't know. It's like those icons that just got posted.
Choo choo. Oh, Mars is posting an explanation of what a hype train is.
Every time I hear a hype train, I want to say something rude, but it's choo choo. And where's that? Why do I have that in my head?
It's just a Samuel L. Jackson thing.
That's what it is.
Yeah, right. I think so.
Yes.
He was probably in a movie with a train at some point. Or maybe people were just hoping he'd be put in a movie with a train and he could say that. I don't know.
I don't know why. It's burned into my brain and I don't know where it's from.
Yes.
This is what happens. Okay, next question. This is from Thunder Remix. Do you regret giving Briv a speed mechanic? It seems like everyone asks about 9 jump feats, item caps, being locked out of certain chests, and accidentally giving too many contracts.
Yeah, this is a good question, actually. I think that, do I regret giving Briv a speed mechanic? No, I don't think so. I think Briv's speed mechanic is something that actually makes the game sort of more accessible for people who have been there for a long time. One of the big things we have to solve with exponential progression games like this is sort of how to make the first X hundred areas palatable for people who are doing them over and over and over and over again. And I think Briv's speed mechanic was a way to address that. I think Thalora's speed mechanic is another way that we're trying to address that. I think every time we do some sort of skip or jump type thing, it's trying to make that first little bit of the game more palatable, since we're asking you to do it over and over and over again. I think the thing I do regret is sort of not capping it initially. I think we underestimated, or I underestimated, the amount of effort that people would put into increasing that. We sort of looked at the first sort of 5 jumps and went like, well, no one's going to really ever get past that. And that was a mistake.
If I had a nickel for every time you do, no one will ever get it higher than blank.
Yeah. So I think that's something that if I could go back in time and appear out of a time portal, I would give myself a little slap across the face and be like, cap it. So I think that's sort of the way, that's how I feel about the broke mechanic at this point.
That in combination with anything that reduced the requirements for an area.
Yeah.
Should also have been capped from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some painful adjustments that we have to make as we kind of adjust to the dumb things that we did years ago. Case in point, patron currency rewards, stuff like that.
Okay, next question. This is from, oh dear. You pronounce that.
This is a question from Scoostum with some X's and D's around it.
Okay, you're not going to pronounce the X's.
I'm not going to try and pronounce the X's and D's in your name.
Because without that, I think it might just be customs.
Custom?
Custom?
XDS
right.
Custom? SX?
Anyway, they would like to know, when you add another area zone increase, will you also be increasing the soft cap for champions?
I would think those two things would be tied together. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't tie them together. Certainly people are starting to push Area 2000 on a semi-regular basis without any sort of super cheesy mechanics. So I do think that's something that we would probably look at doing.
Okay, next question. This is from Gauntlet Blade. I can pronounce that. Can we get an update on Electrum chest fix? I'd love to fill those slots. And so I think specifically they're asking about the Electrum chests prioritizing items in the collections that they haven't filled a slot for yet.
Yeah, that is still something I would like to do. I don't really have an update on it. I don't think we've made any moves towards getting that done. But it is something I would like to do, definitely before or around the time that we release our fabled collection dialogue update, which I swear it's getting done.
It is.
Every single day I hear that Wilson is working on it.
He says so every day.
Except for when he's on vacation.
Yeah. We go. DS Customs, and the X's are left over because they lost their original account name.
DS Customs, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Like custom Nintendo DSs? That'd be pretty cool.
We got D-brand skins on them. Next question is from Canelian. Why did you decide to make Korth's new ability increase the champ's dex score, affecting 2 champs in the front, behind, above, below, instead of the more standard row and columns? Was it just a question of balance?
Yeah, it was a question of balance, and it was a question of just making the choice a little bit more interesting. Sort of where you position him in the column becomes important, not just what column he's in. So I thought it was just slightly more interesting. And it also definitely makes it easier to balance because we're balancing for at most 2 champions being affected by it, as opposed to upwards of between 1 and 4 champions being affected by it. So yeah, I thought it was interesting. And then the artist went and drew too many lines on the specialization icons.
Uh-oh.
We had to go give him a little slap on the wrist.
And erase some of the lines?
And erase some of the lines. I mean, we didn't actually give him a slap on the wrist. We just had them erase the lines. And if there's one thing an artist hates doing more than anything, it's going back to old work and updating it. So
that's true. Like erasing lines or drawing more eye stalks.
So yeah, that was basically the same as giving him a slap on the wrist. Yeah.
Next question. I like this question. This question is near and dear to my heart.
Okay, well, you have to pronounce it correctly, like the question.
Oh. Well, the question is asked from Niscus, and they say, good day. Good day.
Good day.
Can we have more pirate skins soon?
Yar!
Please.
This question gets asked more often than I would think it would.
Because pirates are awesome.
Pirates
we need
are
more
awesome.
pirate skins.
We do
Why
have
don't
some
we have
pirate
more
skins.
pirate skins? We
I
keep
don't
doing sets.
actually
Can we
know.
have a season where we do pirate skins? We just had an
Ooh,
elemental
pirate
season, so we need a pirate season.
That's a great idea.
And every skin is a pirate.
That's a good idea.
Perfect.
Pirate skin season. You heard it here first. Clip it.
Okay. Next question.
Oh, this one's for you. It's in blue. It's from Steffit. Steffatu.
I'm just going to highlight the questions with the difficult names so that you have to attempt to pronounce them.
Thank you. Well, then you have to attempt to answer them, so
Well,
I think that's fair. Question.
Well, if it's about balance, then
Is it possible? No, don't ask Dave questions about balance. There's a reason we don't highlight
I'll just
them.
throw Justin under the bus. So it'll be fine.
They ask, is it possible to put the tabs, main menu, trials, patrons, etc., in the world map view? The campaign
Yeah,
view?
I mean, this feels like this is a variant of a long-running question, which is sort of like, why is there so little functionality available at the world map?
Why indeed, Dave? Tell us
And-
the story.
Oh, I don't know if I got story time, but certainly early on, none of the data to show that on the world map was loaded when the world map was up and the game actually wasn't running. And so it's kind of in a different game mode than a main game that's active. And so we basically limited a lot of that initial items on that screen because of that. And I think at this point we've slowly added in additional things that are present during that with just the map loaded, but we haven't ended up with like a full load. And it really means that someone should, it's requested enough that I think it would be nice that we actually could show basically every function on that except for anything that is literally like a current run specific item. But it does need a rework of how sort of where and when the data is loaded so that screen, when in map only mode as opposed to map and game mode, has the data that it needs to actually show all of the tabs for your account.
Yeah.
So it's definitely on the this would be nice to have list.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. This is from Iruk Fluffball, or Iruku Fluffball. Yes. And they would like to know, will we get the code for the stream that was meant to be before this one? So I guess Idle Insights was supposed to be on before this, and then
It got
it was
canceled.
canceled.
I
And
don't know why it got canceled.
yeah,
But I think the short answer is no. I don't think there'll be a code put out for this.
for a
this
canceled
stream.
show. Yeah, it's an odd one.
We generally don't put out codes for streams that are canceled. Like when Dev Insights gets canceled, we don't do a stream for it or a code for it or a stream for it. So yeah, I don't think we will be doing a code for that.
Yeah, I'd be curious to what happened with the canceled, but it sounds like it was canceled. Sort of, it was expected to go on and it didn't. So
Yeah, it's too bad.
okay.
Next question here is from
boy.
Cassius335, who says, I don't know if Dave and Justin have heard, but Mars is a D&D character now. Not what I meant when I said I wanted Mars in Idle Champions. I meant the cleric, but still hoping he could be considered. And apparently there's a story here, so I will read this story. So I guess Trevor, one of our employees, ran a one-shot for Extra Life on Dungeon Scrawlers and invited Mars to be a player. He played one of his favorite one-shot characters, whose name Jacques Altraides.
Jacques Altraides?
Yeah.
Like
Like from Dune?
from Dune. That's what
Okay.
it sounds like. Yeah.
Wild magic happened that caused Mars to switch places with his character so that Mars himself was in Trevor's world. And later a wish spell made this permanent. And Trevor treats all of his one-shots as canon to his home campaign. So now Mars, the person, is now an actual character in his D&D world. So now are we going to...
Do you think they'd let us do that?
And who would we pay royalties to? Would we pay that to Mars or to Trevor?
Oh no.
Oh no, that seems awfully complicated. Yeah. Oh, I get it. Jacques all trades. Jack of trades.
Oh.
Jack of all trades.
I see it.
I got it.
Yep. Okay.
I'm caught up. Thank you, chat.
Yeah. Probably not a character we'll be adding, but
Probably not.
it's a fun idea. Next question. This is from Slicer King 2000. And this is, of course, a follow-up question from the question asked at the top of the show.
Yes.
Which is, how much is the unaffiliated core going to cost? Now that you know what it is that you're going to be doing with it, but you didn't share earlier.
Thank you for asking. This is a great question. The answer to this question is, I believe, and if this is wrong,
so you don't even know. This is why you didn't say it earlier.
I think we're costing it at the same as the strong core, so 500,000 gems.
Okay.
And it should show up.
They didn't ask that one.
Oh, yeah, that's right. If you want to know when it's going to show up, you have to ask that. But there's 78 questions ahead of you here, so might not get answered till next.
That's only like 30 questions ahead.
Sure,
yeah.
Yes. There's another 30 questions before we get to the questions that are asked now. So, and we've only got 9 minutes, or 5 minutes left in the show. So, yeah, it'll come out at a date. And congrats to Nay Nebel, who was the second person to ask this question, but just slightly behind Slicer King 2000. So yeah.
Solid number 2.
A very solid number 2.
Yeah.
The first runner-up. Next question here is from Aviri.
We're not doing another speed round.
Speed round, yeah, right. You gotta wait till the 200th episode for that. Or maybe we just start doing those every 10 episodes. That was really fun, I gotta say. This question is from Aviri, and they say, "Hi, David."
That's me.
What am I? Chopped liver? Have you been able to look into fixing the low resolution item gear cards for all early evergreen and event champions till Black Viper on iOS, please? What are you doing with the low resolution?
Yeah, those are one of the sheets that was built in. Someone did ask about it a couple weeks ago, and I did put it onto the list. It is in the sort of pending developer insights question list. So it's on the list. It hasn't been looked into yet. But yeah, it's definitely those built-in texture and whatever the compression is set to on the sheets that get included with the build rather than the ones that get downloaded. So
that's going to be my new name from now on.
Chop liver?
They're going to ask me questions. Be like, "Hi, Chop liver."
Perfect. Okay.
Dad joked. Next question is from Narks, who asks, "Hi, guys." That's me. I'm one of the guys. In the quest/challenge tracker, could you add type to the sort by dropdown? When you are tracking a lot of tasks, it can be useful to see all the tasks of the same type, like patron challenges, all together.
Yeah, that seems like a reasonable request. I think sort of the primary reason that wasn't included at the get-go is because we improved the functionality of that to include additional types. Did it launch with patron? I think it was just season, and then season and patron, and then season and patron and achievements.
I think that's right. Yeah.
And that's probably it, right? Yeah.
I can't remember if we squeezed.
We definitely added the
ahead of time.
Maybe we didn't. I thought we did, but maybe we didn't.
I don't remember.
Someone will tell us, but it doesn't matter because this should have a type, and it just didn't have a type sort because there weren't that many types.
Agreed.
All right.
Okay. And the last question of the show.
You sure we got like 6 minutes?
All right. Maybe the second to last question of the show, or the third to last question of the show, depends on how much I delay before asking the question, is from T5 Cats, who asks, once a month, I ask, every 4 episodes, 5 episodes on leap months, will we be able to skip levels on the scrolling bar in the top right by more than 5 per click? Adding a plus or minus 100 would be wonderful.
Yes, I think sort of the answer for this stands as we really do need to, it's a quality of life improvement on that would definitely be to add something that lets you jump to a specific area or a certain number or just something on that works a little better, especially now that there's thousands of areas, 2,000 more than it was before. But certainly the option for, I personally still think being able to just type in the area you want in there would be a really nice convenience. But yeah, that is on the list as a quality of life improvement that I think should go in there. But we have not gotten to it quite yet.
Alrighty.
Next question is from Rough Rider 1995. Were the season and milestone quests tested for ability to complete in background parties?
So I believe the answer to this question is yes-ish. They were tested more so than the season 5 ones. I believe they were tested pretty close to last minute, so if there were kind of fixes for some of them, I'm not sure whether or not they got in. But this is something that is on our kind of priority list as we try to find a little bit more QA time to be able to do this and get this working. It is our intention that season and milestone quests will progress a correct-ish amount, maybe not a correct-ish amount, but some amount in background and offline parties if your background and offline parties are set up with the requisite champions in the requisite locations kind of things. It's definitely a big quality of life thing for not only PC, but especially console and mobile as well, where it's less easy to just keep a copy of the game running at all times.
Okay. This is likely the last question of the episode.
Okay.
This is from Rangzor, and they would like to know, and actually, before I ask the question, it is requested that you answer in a lyrical dance to ensure clear and distinct communication. So bearing that in mind, the question is, how many gems is the unaffiliated core approximately worth?
Wow, well, that looks like it's all we have time for today. If we didn't get to your question, don't worry. You will have another opportunity. We'll be live again next week. Before we sign off, though, we'd like to thank our tireless mods.
You're not going to do the lyrical dance?
This week it was Gabe and Mars. Thanks to both of you. They're the folks who copy your questions into our questions doc and help keep chat sane. So thanks to both of you.
No lyrical dance.
There will be no lyric. Actually, you know what? I'll do lyrical dance after you do your part and then turn off the stream.
Sure, of course. At any rate, of course, thanks to all of you for hanging out, for watching the stream, asking such great questions, and for enjoying the game. Because without you, no one here would get to do what they do.
And we like what we do.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
I guess that's.
I'm going to start my lyrical dance.
That's it. Wow, that's really an impressive dance.
Thank you. I've been working on it for seconds now.
That said, we can't leave without a joke.
Oh, okay.
So tell me, Justin, why is it that the lions move at the end of summer?
I don't know why.
Because the pride goeth before the fall.
Ah.
All right, that joke was terrible.
That was a terrible one. That was worse than normal.
Your dance was better.